Today on Dr. Phil.
Your mother shoe polished herself up?
Just try to sneak in at church.
And his mom
Has she been kicked out of the church?
She's been kicked out of a few churches.
is already driving him crazy.
Did you climb over his balcony?
When he was living with another woman in a
What do you mean
relationship.
another woman? It was my sister.
Mama drama.
Do you show up at midnight and bang on the door?
I had bought a rocking chair. I thought they should appreciate it.
At midnight. Let's do it. Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Pretty free. Take it.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil. It's the new year, 2013. How about that? You know, every year we make resolutions. But we never keep them, right? Come on, be honest. We make them about losing weight, exercising, getting a better job, fighting less with our spouses, going back to college, or some other self-improvement that sounds good when emotions are high. But boy, it fades in the cold morning light of February, right? Well, this year, I want us all to make a very different and very real commitment. I am calling it New Year, No Fear. Okay? Think about that. Think about it. Aren't you tired of being afraid all the time? Aren't you tired of playing the game with sweaty palms? I want us to resolve, maybe for the first time ever, to start to deal with the absolute, unmitigated truth in each and every aspect of our lives. Resolve to no longer be afraid of the truth, no longer lie to ourselves about who we are, why we do what we do, or settle for what we settle for. I'm going to show you exactly how to tear down the barriers and begin to live with no fear in the new year. And here is something that is very important you're going to hear me talk about this year. It is called the why lie. Why? W-H-Y. The lie we tell ourselves about why we do what we do and don't do what we don't do. We do what we do because it feeds a need. And there is a truth that we don't want to face, and this year we're going to face that truth. And nobody needs to deal with all of this more than the guest on my show today. Gabriel has fear, all right, and his fear is of his own mother and what she will do next. Suzanne says her mother-in-law has actually climbed over the balcony to get into their house and shown up at midnight pounding on their door to get in. Take a look.
My mother-in-law is a big storm cloud. Every time she comes around, I want to run.
My mom always micromanages our life.
She forces her opinions on you, how I should live my life, how my children should be raised, Bible quote, everything you can imagine.
She doesn't accept no for an answer. It's my way or the highway. When she doesn't get her way, she blows up. She screams, she pouts. I've seen her slap herself. It's really embarrassing.
They'll say I'm a drama queen. I don't know really what a drama queen is. I'm not out to cause any problems. I have my opinion and they have theirs.
When the phone rings, I'm very afraid that my mother's on the other line.
If my mother-in-law does not reach me, she will call me 15, 20 times, and I won't answer any of them.
I have 10, 12 messages on my phone, which I just delete. Each message is like 4 minutes. So I'm just like delete.
She shows up unexpectedly at my house.
She'll bang on the door. This could be 2, 3 in the morning.
We can be on the phone with her and tell her you can't come over. She will show up 30 minutes later.
One time I had a Super Bowl party, and I happened to glance over and I see my mother trying to sneak in, 260-pound woman jumping over a balcony with a plate of artichoke dip in her hand. And I'm just like, oh my Lord. My mother is the most religious person I've ever met. She is religious to the extreme.
My faith in God is very important to me. I feel that it's very important for Suzanne, Gabriel, and the kids to go to church.
She never practiced what she preaches. She will falsely accuse you of something you never have done. She's accused me of stealing stuff in her house and selling it for drugs, and she finds it the next day. And there is no, oh, I apologize. My mother has been kicked out of about 4 or 5 different churches. She's had restraining orders put on her by a church. She's followed the pastor, stalked him outside of his house. She's actually painted herself with shoe polish all over from head to toe to disguise herself, go incognito as a black person just to see what's going on in a church.
I've never ever heard of such a thing in my life. You have to be pretty over the top to be kicked out of churches.
Gabriel, this is your mother.
Yes, sir.
You love her.
Love her to death.
Love her a lot. You want her in your life, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you heard the top of the show where I said, everybody describes me as tell it like it is. Maybe I was getting kind of mellow in my old age, but I have had an awakening. I think it is time that we get back to basics and start dealing with the truth.
I agree.
And
Definitely.
I want to deal with the truth. Are you prepared to deal with the truth about your mother? Even with your mother sitting here, because she's going to join us in a minute.
Bring her out. Let's do this.
All right, and do you think she's willing to deal with the truth?
No, she's not.
She's not. But
You're in for a show. You think
she's willing? You think she's willing to hear the truth?
She might be. Hopefully.
Or is she going to run out the back door before she ever ghes here?
She might do that. She might do that.
Well, you're pretty quick on your feet, aren't you?
Oh,
you catch her?
I'm 300 pounds, but I'll.
This is your mother-in-law. Do you love her?
Yes, I do.
Do you want her in your life?
Yes.
But you realize there has to be some controls here, right?
Yes.
And you want her to recognize and respect some boundaries.
Definitely.
Okay, now, you say that even if you have friends over, she will interrogate your friends.
Each and every one of them. Each and every one of them.
What does she do?
Where are you from? What's your name? What religion are you? Are you homosexual? Are you a drug addict? Are you a drug dealer? I mean, are you a gangbanger? I mean, any question that comes through your head, she'll ask them.
Okay, are you any of those things?
None of them whatsoever.
Are you a homosexual drug dealing gangbanger?
For the record, no. Hell no.
Yeah. No, hell no.
No, hell no.
Okay, she has asked you if you
I'm a conservative.
Are you in the cartel?
A negative. Oh, yeah, she's asked me that, but I am not in the cartel.
Are you in the mafia?
I am not in the mafia.
When you go in the bathroom, why does she interrogate you about that?
She will listen. She will have her ear on the door. She will listen. She will smell. I'll hear her smelling, and then I'm like, Mom, and then I'll hear her little feet. Yes. And then I'll come out. What did you do in there? She'll go in there. I found little plastic wraps on the floor. Mom, if I'm doing drugs, why the hell will I do it in your house? I mean, I have a car. I can go to my friend's house down the street. I mean, why would I do it here? But just the way she says it. But this is not on like a weekly or month. This is every single time I use the restroom. Every single time.
Every time?
Every time. It could be in my house. It could be in our house. But it's always when I go over her house, and it's sad. I mean,
she's climbed over your balcony.
She's climbed over my balcony during a Super Bowl party.
Tell me you're on the first floor.
I'm on the first floor?
Okay, all right.
That would have been horrible.
Yeah, so you're on the first floor, but she climbed over your balcony to get in?
To sneak and see what we were doing. Yeah, to get in.
But she had some artichoke dip.
She did have some artichoke dip. So
if you're going to climb in, bring some dip, right? Okay.
I agree.
I heard you say on the tape that your mother shoe polished herself up?
Shoe polished herself.
To look like a black person?
To look like a black person. To see what was going on when she wasn't around. And it's funny because the pastor confronted her a couple weeks later. You don't think we knew that was you, lady? I mean, come on, look at her.
Had she been kicked out of the church?
She's been kicked out of a few churches.
But did you know this about him when you married him?
Yes, I did.
Did it
Why'd you
worry
marry
you?
me then? No, I'm just kidding.
I was worried, but I was marrying him. I didn't think it would be a problem.
Your brother played football at USC.
USC. Yes, sir.
And so, but your mother was in Pete Carroll's office all the time.
Oh, my Lord. His secretary had to tell her, woman, Pete Carroll's a busy man.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. Yeah.
Oh, she wanted him to go to the NFL.
Yes. She's
Instead,
very
he's becoming a doctor.
Yes. He's actually a signature away in his internship, about to finish.
But she says that's not to God's work. You ought to be in the NFL.
That's not God's will. You should be in the NFL. We're not famous because of you.
So he could have gone to the NFL. Instead, he's going to be a psychologist.
Psychologist.
Yeah, I'm with you there,
therapy.
Mom. Yeah. All right, so look, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I've said, I don't care how flat you make a pancake, it's got two sides. We're going to hear the other side of this pancake because we're going to meet the woman. She's going to come out and tell us her side of this story, and we're going to see what's really going on here. We'll be right back.
My mother has called herself the Queen Bee, the head matriarch. She feels everything is centered around her.
I do not feel that I have to wear the pants, but I darn sure wear my skirt.
My mom is fixated on this notion that she is the judge of the world, and what she says is the best for everybody. If it's not what she says it is, then it's wrong, and you shouldn't be doing it. My mother is very intrusive, and it's affecting our relationship.
My mother-in-law has caused a lot of friction between Gabriel and I. Regardless if you ask for it or not, she is always giving her 2 cents.
I think a mother-in-law's role is very important to a young woman. The scripture teaches us that older women should teach the younger ones how to love their husbands, raise their children, and rule well over their households.
Holidays are the worst. She brings all the drama. If someone's not sitting in the seat that they're assigned by her, or singing a certain carol, or Thanksgiving song, or Easter basket is not mixed, it starts.
If we're not following her itinerary, she's yelling, she's crying, she even goes into her room and won't even come out. Everything is just ruined.
I try to arrange family events, and usually it's a disaster every time. Either they don't come, Suzanne often gets sick, or something comes up. I'm trying very hard to bring Gabriel and Suzanne closer to me, but they're pushing me away.
I actually ask my mom every single day, please don't come over.
She is extremely unpredictable. One night, my mother-in-law came over at midnight. We were all sleeping. She was knocking and knocking and knocking. My neighbors heard.
I saw a sale on a rocking chair, knew that they needed a rocking chair, and went over about midnight to take it. And wasn't greeted with a great reception there. I mean, you got a lot of chutzpah. I'm over here bringing you a chair, and it's this time of the night. You should be grateful to get the chair.
My mother is one of the worst money managers I've ever seen in my life. Every single check she takes and she splurges on items we don't need. Statues, pillars, tables, couches.
And then come the next day, she's crying because she has no gas money.
I'm happy to make a sacrifice for my family. You can't love without giving. I feel underappreciated by them. I feel that they really don't want me or my gifts.
The other day, she came over with Hanukkah presents for my children, and I don't even know what Hanukkah is.
My mother really needs to focus on herself. There's a lot of things wrong in her life. And for her to ignore those things and try to fix everyone else's life, totally ridiculous. If my mom doesn't change, I'm afraid that we're pretty much gonna have to cut her off.
Okay, so what do you think about all of this?
Thank you, Dr. Phil. First of all, I want to thank you for allowing us to be on the program. It's an honor.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. And I want to say, first of all, that I'm really nauseated right now, and I've had to fight a lot of tears. I'm really very much hurt right now because of some lies and gross exaggerations that my son is doing.
Well, let's straighten them out.
Yes, sir. I do not think that this particular program, though, is a time to discuss any kind of religious or church issues about this. I don't think that's the issue here because
What do you think the issue is?
Well, I believe that I'm here because my son wanted Suzanne and I to come because I understood that he wanted us to straighten out our relationship between he and me, and between she and I.
Okay. Is he correct that in 5 different circumstances, we don't need to go into detail, you've had conflict with the churches that you've been in?
Probably more than 5.
Well, we'll just pick the 5 that we talked about. Okay. Would that be true in a general sense?
No, sir.
Well, did one of them get a restraining order against you?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that there are any boundaries that you cross with these two as far as their lives and their home?
Every conversation, sorry to cut you off, Dr. Phil, but every single conversation.
Do you think there are boundaries that you cross with them?
Yes, sir.
What would they be?
Well, they asked me never come to the house without calling, and I don't have a cell phone that's working or anything right now. I can't afford one. But the thing is, I do call when I can. Many times, though, they don't answer the phone calls. So if I have something to take to children, food, toys, clothes, or maybe something I pick up for Suzanne or him that I feel that they need or want, I'll just, go over. But I try to, on respect, to call, and I'd say about 75% of the time now, since I know how adamant they are on me calling, I do. I'm from the South, and we just kind of, y'all come on down, drop by for a cup of coffee, that kind of thing. So it's a little hard for me to, you got to call every time you come, especially my own sons.
Yeah.
You know.
But if that's what they want, then that would be violating a boundary
Yes.
if you don't do that, right? Because
Yes.
you might be, I'm from the South too, my mother loved me with food, and everybody just y'all come, the door's open,
Yeah,
and
open
all
door
that.
policy, yes.
And all, but if that's not the way they are, then just y'all coming over there with a cake and some coffee is just not real good if that's not what they want. And you would have to respect that, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, did you climb over his balcony with a plate of artichoke dip?
I did go.
It was a spinach dip.
Wait a minute.
Spinach dip, sorry.
Maybe
he's got
spinach,
an
but I
excellent
think
memory.
it was artichoke.
This happened many years ago when he was living with another woman in a relationship.
It was
and-
Scarlett, it was my sister. What do you mean another woman?
Okay, I thought it was the time you had the
That's
Super
another
Bowl
woman.
party.
Come on.
He lived in with another
that's another
lady
woman, you're
before
right.
this lady.
I don't care who
And
else was in the
I
house.
don't remember
Didn't-
climbing over a balcony, Doctor.
Your leg was over it.
Oh, well, maybe.
I said, Mom, I'll walk you around.
Then that must have been true, but that was many years ago. I was young and
Yes.
agile then.
But these are just examples why.
I couldn't do that these days, Doctor.
Do you show up? midnight and bang on the door?
I showed up at midnight once to bring a rocking chair
Once?
that I had bought on Walmart on sale, and it's because I have a small VW and a convertible top, and I couldn't drive all the way home with
But
that
did it
rocking
seem odd
chair.
to you that you're showing up at midnight banging on somebody's door with a rocking chair?
Banging, blowing, nonstop.
wake 'em up.
I'm like,
Okay,
No.
at midnight with a rocking chair from Walmart,
What you know,
does that seem out of pattern to you? Like this
No,
is
sir.
that-
Because they live 2 blocks down the street from Walmart. It was a cold night in the spring, I believe, and if I had gone home with the rocking chair in my car, I would have had to ride with the hood down, and then I would have been sick because of the cold. And they live 2 blocks from Walmart. I didn't think anything about it. I thought they should appreciate the rocking chair.
at midnight.
Whatever time.
He says that you have said to him, I wrote this down because I thought it was significant, may the Lord cause you to be uncomfortable in life.
last week.
You don't want your daughters dead because you don't listen and obey. That's kind of harsh, isn't it?
That's very harsh, and that's probably a little, not quote verbatim.
Well, it's what...
No, you've said that, Mama.
But as I said, he sometimes grossly exaggerates. I have tried since childhood since my children's growing up days. I am not a person who wants to force or cram Jesus or Jewishness or any other religion or anything down anybody's throat. I am not trying to do that.
Yes, you do, Mom.
But I am responsible before God and man and my husband of how we raise our children.
You're not responsible. I'm
And
over 18. I'm out of your house, Mom.
They are grown. But I have warned all my kids that they must have the fear of the Lord. I can't force them to have the fear of the Lord.
You force us every day.
I cannot
we walk in the
force
door,
you.
it's sit down, I want to talk to you, and if you don't, you're going to hell. I need to show you what I just heard on this sermon. And Mom, I have homework. I have to go. I have to go to work.
Okay, well, hold on. We have to take a break. Linda spent 8 days in jail and says it's all her son's fault. We're going to find out why she blames him for being behind bars. We'll be right back.
I was reading this book, and there was all these lists of 28 characteristics of a sociopath. And I thought, my Lord, that seems like my son.
My mom has been banned from standing up and giving a testimony at church. They've actually grabbed the microphone, said, that's enough, Linda, thank you, please have a seat.
My mother-in-law breathes fire and brimstone all the time.
If I don't do something my mom asks me to do, she'll say, you know what, may the Lord cause you to be uncomfortable in life, or you're gonna get punished by God. That's extremely over the top.
I don't remember saying such a statement. I have said to them, follow me as I follow Christ.
Hearing that all the time, it's annoying after a while. You tune out.
Okay, Gabriel says that his mom, Linda, is, well, a little overzealous. He says she even sprinkled salt on a neighbor's porch because the Lord says to salt the earth of the land.
They thought she was doing witchcraft.
Did you salt a neighbor's porch?
I did sprinkle some salt. I don't remember why, but he doesn't have the right understanding about it. That was kind of a stupid thing to do. Can I say some things here about?
Sure.
I am really broken in spirit right now and broken in heart.
Dr. Phil, every time I'm mad or frustrated, or my sister's frustrated, or my father's frustrated with her out-of-control spending or her overzealous attitude, yelling and screaming at all hours of the morning. We've been evicted from so many different places because of her loud voice. She says it's because of the way she's raised us or the faults she's done in the past. We say, Mom, we love you. We forgive you. We just want peace. She asks us every holiday, what do we want? Peace. That's the same answer from all of us. And I love her to death. But in order for me to respect her and to honestly, be the type of son I should be, I have to stay away. I can't even have a conversation with her because every phone call I have to hang up. I have to hang up. There is no bye. Mom, I'm in the restroom. I got to go. No. Mom, I'm driving. I got to go. No, you're not going. You're not hanging up. Mom, I'm at work. There is no hanging up. You're listening to me now. And it's irrelevant.
But hold on. Stop. Is that true? Is that how you relate to him?
I try to respect his time, but the issue about the bathroom when I was knocking, it was because on his off day, he had promised to do things for me. He's living in our house again. She kicked him out. I really need for my children at this time, especially Gabriel being the firstborn son, I need him to step up to the plate and be a help, be a man, and not cause more grief.
Every day I try.
What can she do to get to have peace with you guys?
Respect our feelings, respect our way of life.
Behaviorally, what can she do?
Calm down. I mean, peace. Talk with a respectful tone of voice. Don't bring up the past. Don't always constant complaining on a daily basis what she doesn't have, and we're the reason.
What could he do that could bring you some peace in this relationship? What could he do? What could he alter that could give you some peace?
Well, he could alter, stop telling lies, stop.
I don't lie.
Stop. Yes, he does lie.
Well, it's not about you, Mom.
And can I just say this?
Why would I lie about my mom?
Okay, hold on.
I want to say this. I saw a book a couple of years ago. I had seen the movie. I was in Barnes & Nobles or Borders, a book about the up in New York State, Long Island. Remember the man that, the Italian man, Buca. And I was reading this book, and there was all these lists of 28 characteristics of a sociopath. And as I read those lists, I thought, my Lord, that seems like my son. And it worried me. I'm wondering, because it was this man had a serious cocaine problem and habitual, he was, habitual liar, his wife said, so I don't know, I'm not judging. But I am having a serious problem with lying and gross exaggeration. The drugs he has been on or something has totally affected my son's mind. His whole personality has changed.
Drugs.
So I don't know if this is a chemical imbalance.
Chemical imbalance.
It's abuse.
Every time we argue.
Okay, hold on.
He's abusive.
I apologize.
Hold on, I know what I'm doing here. This is not my first day, okay? So your fear, if I'm hearing you right, is that you have raised a full-blown psychopath.
I don't have that fear because, you know what?
No, you said you read the book and they listed 28 characteristics.
And out of those 28, I saw about 25 or 26.
Okay.
I would consider that a...
Okay, so...
He hadn't read it, but I did mention that to Suzanne. I said, Suzanne, just take this book and read
my
it.
fear is, you're saying your fear is that based on this book, Joey Buttafuoco?
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
the one.
All right.
You're good, Dr. Phil.
Yeah, no, my wife was telling me she was... But based on those characteristics that were listed in this book, you say he seems to possess a vast majority of those characteristics that describe a sociopath, psychopath.
When I read the list, I thought, that sounds like things he does. Now,
And so therefore, you think that may be what you're dealing with.
Sir, first of all, I heard you think about fear, and that's really good, and I've had to deal with fear all my life. But you know what? The God I serve has not given me the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind.
Every day.
I deal with fear every day.
People are
I go
following
in
us.
lions' dens. I'm in the lion's den right now.
But how is he responsible for you being in jail for 8 days?
Like I said, I have not been a perfect person at all. I wanted some lawn chairs. I asked all my family, everybody chip in $25 and let's buy some outdoor chairs because I like to do family barbecue and all that being from the South. So nobody wanted to chip in any money, and I did a wrong thing. I made a wrong choice. I went to a store. I don't want to name the store, but I went to a store and I took the chairs and to see if they fit in my car, and the security guard followed me out, and I was arrested for petty theft.
To see if they fit in your car.
I did shoplift, and I see that.
That's the first time she's actually admitted that.
I admitted it, and I've had a problem.
How was that his fault?
It's not his fault.
So
what happened was, on the Super Bowl Sunday, the day that they had the
talking about 8 days in jail.
The Janet Jackson incident, I mean, he was about 18 or 19 years old. My son came home. My husband had just been in the hospital overnight and was watching the Super Bowl. He came and watched half of it, and I remember the halftime. He left. He came back either intoxicated or on drugs. And either or, because I don't know. I'm here to find out what's wrong with my son. Is there a chemical imbalance? Is there a psychological issue, emotional, or is this a drug problem? I don't know what the problem is. God has not revealed to me everything what's wrong here.
Well, he works in mysterious ways, and maybe he's going to have me tell you some things here. All right, when we come back, we're going to find out why Gabriel, who certainly is not a perfect son, threw a pie at his mother and demanded that she get out of his house. We'll be right back.
Okay.
My mother-in-law is extremely unpredictable.
One time we were leaving an amusement park. Mother had her car and we had ours. We get on the freeway at the same time. So she starts following us. So we exit our house and we see, oh wow, she's exiting with us.
what is this lady doing? She's right behind us. I'm just driving as fast as I can, and she's just following. So we finally get in the parking lot, and we hide, and we see her cruising, looking for us. It's like that with every situation. She wants to know where we're at, where we're going, why are we going there? It's just ridiculous.
Well, that was Gabriel talking about how his mom is always meddling in his life. But Linda says her son has no respect for her, calls her crazy, and accuses her of being a drama queen. Now, we were talking about how she wound up in jail, and it had to do with some lawn chairs. But you didn't go to jail over the lawn chairs. You got probation for that, but then you had some parking tickets.
What?
But then you got upset with her and told the police she had a warrant for some parking tickets, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell them why.
And
Please.
And why did he do that?
Well, my husband asked me to call the security of the apartment building because Gabriel came home intoxicated and or on drugs. He said, if you don't shut up to me, if you don't shut up, I'm going to throw water on you. So he threw 2 big glasses of ice water on me. This is in February, a cold, rainy night.
Are you serious?
And I was going up the stairs that are wooden stairs, and I could have fallen and hurt myself. My husband said, just, call the police. So I went out the other door, went to a neighbor, called the police to come. We didn't want to have him arrested. We just wanted him to go somewhere, spend the night, and calm down, because he had put ketchup in my hair. He poured 2 glasses of ice water in my hand, which is not the first time. He actually last week sprayed air when I was banging on the door to try to deal with him at my house or my apartment.
4 in the morning.
No, he came home from work at 3:30. I'm trying to find out. He's been gone the last 2 days. He went back to Susie's. He's in and out burger, always in and out. And so he's now at our house. Since she kicked him out. So, anywhere he lays his hats is home type thing. He needs to get out and get his own house.
Rolling Stone.
But the bottom line, Rolling Stone. So the bottom line is, he should respect his house. He had promised to do things for me physically.
I respect you, Mom. I respect your house.
Every
time that we walk through that door, it's yelling at us. She cries. I've seen her beat herself. Beat me like Nicole. That was her phrase. I'm going to a women's battered shelter. You guys are killing me. It's always extreme with my mother. And we say we love you.
What do we need to do to calm this situation down?
There's nothing you can do, Doctor. Respectfully. But we've tried.
So we agreed to be honest. What needs to happen here? You agreed to be honest. Say what you have to say.
I'm right here. Don't worry. Just say whatever you want to say. Anything. Say it.
I just want peace. I want her to respect my opinions. I want her to not tell me how to raise my girls. It stresses me out.
And do you think you're a decent mother? You think you're a good mother?
She's the best mother.
I do, yes.
You love your girls?
I love them.
Do you think she's a good mother?
I think she loves her children very much, but I think Suzanne and Gabriel both, individually and as a couple, need some serious counseling.
We need counseling.
Well, maybe they do.
I offered to help them get some premarital counseling before they married, but they chose to shack up and have these children. So when baby number 2 comes along, I said, come on. You guys love each other. Let's make a commitment to God and to each other. And I married them right there in my living room. As a license, I said on the spot, but I regret doing that, Doctor, because I think I interfered where I shouldn't have. They should have made a decision. However, they didn't take, when I went to Christmas.
So you married them?
I married them in the living room, just on Johnny on the spot thing. But then later, my son says.
Did you have a marriage license?
No, sir, they're not legal. I don't know the real reason they don't get married.
We are married.
But I would like to see my grandchildren grow up in a home that's committed, that's steady, and that's solid. And the way she keeps throwing him out for whatever reason, and I'm sure she has her reasons, he's not stepping up to the plate to be responsible to get his own apartment, just living with her. And she has 2 other children by a prior relationship. So my son took on a lot. And I don't know if he's equipped to handle it all.
Do you think she's a good mother? Do you think she knows how to mother these children?
I don't know enough or with her enough to see. But when I'm around her, she seems very much to love her children, and I'm sure she wants the best for her children. Okay. It's just that issue. But I mean, when they won't let the children go with me in my car ever anywhere, or when they won't let the children go with me.
Never. She will never.
He told me, not she, because she really hasn't had much
asleep driving.
I fell asleep once. I'm a diabetic, Doctor, and I hadn't eaten all day. I was in Torrance shopping.
She runs out of gas on the freeway all the time.
I was right next to a Starbucks. Starbucks. I just went quickly, just bumped. It was just a little bump. That was it. That happened one time. Just once. A little bump on a street. And
She goes 20 miles.
57. I can't, I don't fall asleep at the wheel ever, but I did. I'm under a lot of stress.
I've got to take a break here, and then I am going to put some verbs in my sentences here about what I think needs to happen here. I never give up on family. We'll be right back.
Gabriel does not allow me to be with the grandchildren as much as I would like.
My kids do like visiting their grandma, but when she gets all dramatic, they get scared and they want to leave.
I've had to kick her out of the house before because of her boisterous, loud tone.
He comes up sometimes with ridiculous excuses as to why I can't take the children places. For 4 years, I've been trying to get them to go to Oktoberfest and go see the Winnie Dog races. They refuse every year. He says, well, you might fall asleep at the wheel, a cop may stop you, you might have an accident.
Because of my mom's behavior, I have to keep my wife and kids away from her.
I do not know why my son does not trust me with those children. It breaks my heart.
Linda says her son and daughter-in-law are keeping her away from her grandchildren, even though she thinks she knows what's best for them. You don't think they're safe with her? Is
Not
that
100%, no, sir.
Because you said she fell asleep, she has
Different things.
poor judgment.
All the time, with every situation.
With him. Are you concerned?
Well, if he's concerned, I'm concerned. That's his mother. So if he says no, then
Right.
no.
Look, you kind of frame things up kind of biblically, spiritually, religiously, however, and you've said to us that they should, God says, respect your mother and father. If they would just do that, then you would be more at peace about him, and you would have more peace yourself.
But do you know what her opinion of respect is?
I'm talking to her.
Oh, sorry.
Right? That's what you said.
Repeat, please.
Children should honor their mother and father.
Yes. And every mother wants to see her son, no matter what faith she is, she wants to see her son accomplish and be the best that he can be and serve his purpose here on this earth and make it a better planet.
Okay, but do you have any sensitivity to the fact that there are boundaries in this relationship that you are violating that make it difficult for people to be comfortable around you?
Yes.
And I don't care who it is. If somebody violates personal space, violates boundaries, crowds, makes uncomfortable, that they're going to run the other way.
Yes, sir.
No, you don't.
You know, I was raised in the South, in the Baptist church, and we had people in the Baptist church that were just obnoxious. And you would just see them and you would just run the other way. You would just run. You know, religion comes to the point of being religiosity, where people are overly religious, they're zealots, they're pious, they're sanctimonious, and so you guys know what I'm talking about. You run the other way. Do you think that you might have that effect on people sometimes?
Obviously, I do.
Everybody.
Because from my son's perspective, and also a couple, not say everybody.
Everybody.
I must be a very, God created us all to be unusual, unique individuals, but obviously, Dr. Phil, I must have some issues if we're having all these complaints.
Well, no, I'm saying these are things that you might want to think about. And so you might want to ask yourself, you know, is this working or is it not working? And if it's not working in your family, if your other son runs away from you, and this son who wants and needs his mother in his life, you're making it uncomfortable for him. And if you're right, if he's got 25 out of 28 traits of a psychopath, he needs his mother. If he's having trouble in his relationship with his wife, he needs his mother.
In the last year or so, 2 years, I've even expressed to both of them, if they don't want me in their life, why am I here if they don't want me to be around their grandchildren?
So I'll kill myself.
I'll just move back to Mississippi.
No, they do.
Ride
That's
my
why
bus.
they're here. They didn't come here to get rid of you. They came here because they want to fold you into their life. They know how to get rid of you. They know how to cut you off. They came here because they want to fold you into their lives.
Exactly.
That's why they came. They didn't write a letter and say, hey, will you help us get rid of this nutty woman? They wrote and said, will you help us bring our family together? That's the letter they wrote.
Well, as you know, Dr. Phil, our youngest son is a doctor now of psychology. He has told me, Mom, you need to see a therapist. He's told me over and over.
What?
This is the nicest she's ever been.
Well, hey, I have that effect on people. Give me a break. All right, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you the why lie that's going on here. We'll be right back. Gabriel says his mom is always spreading chaos and it needs to stop before it completely tears their family apart. Now, I said one of the things that blocks us from getting what we want in our life is what I call the why lie. We tell ourselves lies about why we do what we do. And I think there is a definite why lie going on here with you. It's the lie that we hide behind. I wrote it down for you after I studied everything. The why lie is this. I am just asking for my God-given right to be honored and respected by my children, and that to dishonor me is to dishonor God. If they would just honor me, I could be at peace for them and for myself. That is all I want. That's what you're telling yourself, that's all you're asking for. That's not what I think's going on here. The truth you won't face is that you are an incredibly rigid right fighter that invokes the deity to validate self-righteous demands instead of trusting in your inherent worth. You live in constant fear of being abandoned, forgotten, and alone. That fear causes you to smother, cling, guilt-induce, and frantically attach yourself to anyone and everyone you have access to, especially your children. As a result, you really create that which you most fear because you don't trust in your inherent worth. If you will relax, these people will come to you. You don't have to beat on their door at midnight. You don't have to climb over the balcony. This son will come to you. This daughter-in-law and these children will come to you. Your other son will come to you if you trust in your worth. You create the very thing you fear, which is being alone, because you push them away. You've got to give it a chance. Your mother is at heart a good woman. Your mother is a survivor, and she is willing to take some guidance and direction, and I am going to provide some help and support for her. I'm going to get her. I'm going to get her some pastoral counseling. I'm going to get her some Christian counseling of someone that will recognize her spiritual underpinnings and will work with her within those confines to redefine some relationship parameters. And I am going to get you, as a couple, some help as with a family counselor to work with you guys on defining your family unit to include extended family. There's nothing more valuable than extended family. For these children to learn that somebody loves them besides just mom and dad, to know that they can go crawl up in grandma's lap, to know that they can be spoiled by grandma, to know that they can go spend the night somewhere and be safe and be good, and that you guys can go away and, hey, they come back. You know, so that they can learn these things, all within some very defined boundaries and parameters, and be safe. This is a wonderful thing. It's wonderful for her to experience. It's wonderful for them to experience.
I agree.
May I offer that gift of love to you?
You may, sir, and I'm so grateful. I perceive that you have given me a prophetic truth, and all that you have said just now about the rejection, about the panic and how I created I've never heard that before, and I do believe that that's what I have done. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
That we will build on. All right, next, how you can get rid of your fear in the new year. Well, I want to thank all of my guests today, and we were talking today about what I call the why lie. And let me tell you, if you've got barriers in your life, you've got things you're doing that you don't want to do and things you aren't doing that you need to be doing, sit down and ask yourself, what's the lie I'm telling myself about why I'm not doing it? Because if you're not doing it, you've got an excuse. You're telling yourself a why lie. What is it? Quit telling yourself some lie. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to be getting rid of the why lie, and we're going to be dealing with the truth that you don't want to face in your life. That's where we're headed. Thanks for being here. So long.